Fearless and decisive, destructive and divisive. The world is tonight mourning the death of the Iron Lady. One of the great figures of the 20th century, Margaret Thatcher, changed the face of Britain, and her passing has been marked by the same powerful emotions engendered by her extraordinary life.
Flags flew at half-mast all over Britain. People danced in the streets and popped champagne. The Baroness was a polarising figure right to the end.
Today we lost a great leader, a great Prime Minister and a great Britain.
Margaret Thatcher embodied a great evil.
In and out of hospital, the 87-year-old's last days were spent being cared for by friends at the famous Ritz Hotel. In the end, she died peacefully after a stroke, and as her body was driven away, her life, her story, was back on the front pages and on the lips of old friends.
I don't know any other post-war British Prime Minister who could have done what she did.
She was the best British Prime Minister since Winston Churchill.
As Britain's first woman Prime Minister, her gender was landmark, but her conviction is what really made her. She was always right, never wrong.
You turn if you want to. The lady's not for turning.
Nor was she willing to take any impertinence from an Australian 60 Minutes reporter.
Why do people stop us in the street almost and tell us that Margaret Thatcher isn't just inflexible, she's not just single-minded, on occasion she's plain pig-headed and won't be told by anyone.
Would you tell me who has stopped you in the street and said that?
Ordinary Britons.
Tell me who and where and when.
Ordinary Britons in restaurants,
How
in
many?
cabs.
How many?
I would say at least 1 in 2.
I'm sorry, it's an expression I've never heard.
She was tough. I've jokingly said I was worried that she might toss me in the Tower of London after the interview.
From 1979, for a decade, the shopkeeper's daughter turned political warrior pledged to drag Britain out of the economic doldrums.
Where there is discord, may we bring harmony.
But it didn't last long. Tackling inflation fuelled a rise in unemployment and the battle with the miners' union.
We're on a mission to destroy the miners' union, which would affect jobs and also the communities.
She was victorious. She also won a war in the Falklands. But in 1984, Margaret Thatcher almost lost her life when the IRA bombed a Brighton hotel hosting a conference of the Conservative Party. The Iron Lady was indeed made of steel.
The Iron Lady of the Western world.
The nickname she loved came from the Russians after she teamed up with Ronald Reagan to bring the curtain down on Soviet communism. But back in Britain, Thatcher took on one fight too many. A government levy known as the poll tax led to widespread rioting. It was unjust and it brought her undone.
We're leaving Downing Street for the last time after 11 and a half wonderful years.
It was a period in which she became a giant in a man's world, an inspiration for other women to lead.
Obviously, Margaret Thatcher and I did not share a political outlook on the world, but as a woman, I am admiring of her achievements.
When they made the Iron Lady, they broke the mould to divide and conquer her legacy in a country she loved. Damien Ryan, 9 News.